Good day and welcome to my fourth video in the Generational Wealth series, and today we are going to talk about complex families. So what are we going to talk about? Firstly, just complex family enterprises, and stay tuned because this may be for you, although you don't think so at this moment. Then we're going to talk about family systems theory, just understanding how families operate, and there's three theories that we will address: Bowen, structural family therapy, and also the Mellon theory. It's very easy, like I've said a few times before, to only focus on the money side. But you have seen, even in my first article, the first video, that it's not money that's the main reason why generational wealth does not work. It's all these other fuzzy stuff around it. And then, again, I've also said this before, generational wealth planning is not only for the ultra wealthy. If you look at the following 5 questions, just answer yes if this is applicable to you. Do you own a business? Do you own any property outside your main home? Do you have shares in, invest in shares, unit trust, or a pension fund? Do you serve as a trustee or a director? Do you give to churches, charities, or NPOs? If you've answered yes to 3 of any of these, you already actually have a complex family enterprise within your family. We can see that internationally, 70 to 90% of private businesses are family owned. Globally, we know about the Waltons, the Tatas, the Samsungs. In South Africa, the Ruperts, the Mutsepis, all conglomerate families. They are involved in businesses, properties, investments, philanthropy, and leaving a legacy. What is important is how well families work together, these complex families. And understanding family dynamics can sometimes be extremely challenging. Ask anyone with children. And then we don't even talk about the influence of culture in family dynamics. So next, I will have a look at 3 family systems theories and what we can learn from that on how to create more healthy families for ourselves. First, and that's the most, I would say, applicable, I've read widely, the one that's more aligned with generational wealth, and that's Bowen's family systems theory. Now, basically what Bowen talks about is that emotional patterns can be passed down through generations, and that we as parents do actually family projection. We project our stress, our dreams onto the children, and that influences how they think and do later on. And then one of the other important things is triangulation. How often, if 2 people are squabbling or they don't agree, they would like to pull in a 3rd person to give one of them the head start, etc. And that often is the start of family feuds. So what can we learn from this? We have to work on taking emotions out of the equation, out of our decision making. It's important to have direct and open communication in our families, and to also work as a team, to not allow triangulation, to make sure that the moment we see that here is a triangle being formed, that we deliberately try and stop that. And then to be reflective, to work on breaking any harmful cycles that we have. Structural family therapy focuses on the roles and boundaries within families. There should be clear leadership and decision making. It promotes succession and fair inheritance, and then also distinguish between personal and business roles, because these, especially in a family business, can become intertwined. So what can we learn? What healthy family structures can we have? We should set clear roles and responsibilities, and we are getting to family governance in a few sessions' time. There should be strong, respected leadership provided by the elders. So the parents, you have a very large responsibility. There should be boundaries between family and business, and we should also be adaptable as the family evolves. What does Milan's systemic family therapy tell us? This theory focuses on beliefs and communication patterns within the family, and that we should actually try and reveal some hidden rules, like in our family we don't talk about the money, or just men are good decision makers, or they have the majority vote. And by way of circular questioning, we can discover these hidden assumptions to enable better conversations. So what healthy habits can we take from this? To have open discussions of our values and goals, and that I've addressed in an earlier article and video. To allow evolving beliefs across generations, to not have a rigid rule from the grave. To have natural and respectful communication, and to have a shared purpose beyond money. So if we take these three theories together, there's basically 6 guidelines we can use from that. Number 1, have open and direct communication. Talk honestly about money, values, goals, and concerns, and avoid silence or indirect communication. Number 2, have clear roles and boundaries. Define who does what in the family and in any of the family businesses. Understand that being a family member doesn't automatically mean business involvement, and we'll talk about that when we talk about family governance. Have emotional awareness and maturity. Make financial decisions thoughtfully and not emotionally. And that's often where an outside advisor or coach can come in to help us just look at this more neutrally. Because, to be honest, if you are in the situation, it's difficult to be totally emotionless about that. Then have respectful conflict resolution guidelines. Address issues directly with the person involved. Do not pull in others. Don't triangulate, getting a child in or a parent in to help mediate the conflict. Have flexible beliefs and shared purposes. So be open to evolving ideas and roles over time. And then supportive leadership and succession. Provide mentorship, not control. Prepare the next generation gradually for the responsibility that they need to take over. As a final thought, stronger families equals stronger legacies. So, what's my call to action? This week's challenge for you: draw a 3-generation family tree. You can use software like GenoPro. They have free versions. There are many out there. Just to see, how does your family fit together over the past 3 generations? How has it evolved? And then map financial habits, major money events, maybe even health events. Look for patterns and then discuss that within your family. And that can be a first step to help us develop healthy family habits.